I'm Brandon,
I'm Billy.
and this is Blaze, Bronson, Braden, Briggs, and Bella. Yeah, so Billy and I were both natives to Arizona. We've grown up here, and we started talking about foster care and adoption even while we were dating.
So I think to better understand Bella's story, we have to take it back a couple of years ago to 2015 when Brandon and I decided to become licensed foster parents. October 23rd of 2015, we received a phone call about a little baby who needed to be placed. We went and picked up this tiny little baby, and it was Braden. We were instantly in love. We were so blessed by him. He has brought so much joy to our family. He's our little jokester. And then we were blessed again, and less than a year later, on September 21st of 2016, to officially adopt Braden into our family. So after we officially adopted Braden, Brandon and I were talking and praying, and we decided what was best for us and for our little Braden was to reach out to bio parents to see if they wanted to form a relationship with us. I reached out, and lucky enough for us, they responded back to us, and they were open, and we started communicating with them through texting and Facebook and Skype, and we started forming a relationship with them. So we decided in July of 2017, that we would plan a trip back to go visit them, and also for Braden to see his bio siblings. That was very important to Brandon and I, that Braden stay connected with his siblings. Bio mom and I had a phone conversation about a week before we went on the trip, and she had told me she was pregnant again, and she was just really uncertain about this pregnancy, and she was just faced with some really difficult decisions about this pregnancy. And I said, hey, if bio dad is on board, Brandon and I will adopt this baby. She said, okay. She said, we'll talk later. They had to talk about it. And the minute we hung up, I just started praying for this baby. I knew in my heart that this was my baby. I prayed so hard for this little soul. And the next day we received a call, and they were on board. We were going to adopt this little baby. So we came back from that trip, and it was just a waiting game. During this pregnancy, there was some anxious times, there were some happy, times. There was a lot of praying on our part, and with our family and friends who were praying for us. And I didn't know. I cried, we cried. I didn't know my role in all this. I wasn't certain in what it was supposed to be, but I had to be okay with that. At the end of all this, if God said your only job was to keep this baby alive, that's your job. That was my plan for you. And I had to be okay with it. And the thought of that crushed me, but I needed to do God's will, because that's what I stepped into doing this. I said yes to God, and it was going to be his plan. So we got a call October 26th of 2017 that our daughter was being born. We were not expecting her to be born this early. She was born at 32 weeks, this little tiny 3 pound, 12 ounces little thing. So as we're driving to the airport with a friend of ours, we get this call or a text that asks us what we are naming the baby. And that was just so solidifying to Brandon and I. Yeah. So we named her Bella Marie Crystal, and Marie is my middle name, and Crystal is bio mom's middle name. So we fly out, we get to the hospital, and just walking in there, I was just I'm just overcome. I was like, there she is. There is my precious, tiny little baby in this huge incubator with all these tubes and everything. We couldn't touch her. It was overwhelming. We stayed for a few days. I took care of Bio Mom, and then it was time for us to head back home.
So after about 5 incredibly long weeks of her being in the NICU, we finally got the call that she was ready to be released. We packed her bags again, took a trip, and went and hung out with bio parents as they brought her home. I still remember the very first time that Billy was able to hold her outside of the hospital, and it just being a promise, the promise that God had for her, that it was her child, and just seeing that, I'll never forget that moment. So now, Bella's home. And although she's here, her adoption story isn't finished yet. And so right now we're kind of working through that, but we're also kind of in a waiting game to get the funds that we need to finish the adoption. So because of all the traveling, the lawyer's fees, and the court costs, also the adoption certification, all of that stuff is added up. And so we've gotten to a significant amount of debt, being on a one-income family, and we usually try to be really responsible to that. And so what we've been doing is really trying to raise funds to help us complete everything. Another thing that we have is a You Caring website, and we'll have the link near this video for anyone that might be interested in just continuing to help us contribute financially to our little one and just to be a part of her story. Other ways that you can support us is really just for prayer and encouragement. Continue to just pray for the adoption process, pray for just continued blessing on the relationship with bio parents, and just that this beautiful little girl would just become an amazing woman of God, and that she would just feel so loved. Thank you so much. You can also share the video, and then also the link to friends and family on the You Caring website, so that other people can hear about our story and be a part of Bella's. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you.